FPL Hidden Gems for Game Week 1. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and join my mini league. The first player on the list is new Crystal Palace signing Diacha Kamada. I think we can expect him to be playing more in an attacking role under Oliver Glasner. When he was at Lazio, he was playing more of a defensive midfielder role. However, when Oliver Glasner was in charge at Frankfurt, he was playing more of an attacking midfielder role. Palace are doing a medical check with Ismaila Sarr. As I understand, Kamada might be starting where Elise was, but if they get a better replacement, then he probably won't be. With Oliver Glasner in charge, he got 20 goal involvements when he was at Frankfurt. He's only 5.5 million and owned by 0.5%. And Crystal Palace have some alright fixtures going into the season. Next up we have João Pedro, who's in quite a lot of people's teams so far. Brighton don't have a good start of fixtures, but I think it gets better after the Arsenal game. João Pedro is owned by 19.9% of people, and he's only 5.5 million, and he's probably expected to be on penalties for Brighton if he starts. And last season he got 12 goal involvements. Remember, he is still really young, he's 22 years old, so there is a lot of room for development. Now we're going on to Jared Bowen, who performed amazing last season, over 20 goal involvements in the Prem, I think. He has some alright fixtures, but he is West Ham's main man. There's a chance he could be on penalties. He's only owned by 7.4%, and he would only cost you 7.5 million. Next up is Matheus Cunha with 3.5% ownership. He could be on penalties for Wolves, 19 goal involvements last season, that's pretty good. He would only cost you 6.5 million, and his fixtures get better after the Chelsea game. Now we move on to Jean-Philippe Mateta, who is owned by 8.6%, and he is 7.5 million, but Crystal Palace have some good fixtures going into the season. With Elise gone, there might be less chances, but Mateta might get more of those chances to score. However, he was brilliant under Oliver Glasner last season. There is also a slight worry that he might not be there for the first few games for Crystal Palace if France do well in the Olympics. Next up is Morgan Gibbs-White, who has really good fixtures, 2 home games out of 3 of the starting fixtures. Only owned by 6.7% and would set you back 6.5 million. He's on penalties and he did perform really well last season for Forest. Finally, the last gem is Brennan Johnson, who is owned by 1.9%. That is a really low ownership for a really cheap player as well. He has some good fixtures. He racked up 15 goal involvements last season. The only doubt is whether he would play, because Spurs have quite a few wingers on their shortlist to sign. Also, there are quite a few wingers who might start ahead of him, like Kulusevski, Son and Timo Werner.